Hi everybody, it's Linnea from Miss Ink Stamps. Today I'm working with one of the new stencils from the March stencil release. This is the Latte Love Stencil, and I'm going to be foiling it today. So I'm going to start by spraying some pixie spray on this, but I'm only really spraying where those fine detailed lines of the Latte Love Stencil are. I'm not really getting it on those big stencil areas because that's going to cause a lot of stickiness on my cardstock. I'm using Deco Foil Transfer Gel Blanco to transfer my foil today. So I'm scooping out quite a bit of the product and I'm just placing that over that Latte Love stencil from Miss Ink Stamps. And then I'm going to use my stencil pal to smooth that over the top. I'm going to remove my stencil and do this again on a second panel. I thought maybe I would make 2 cards today, but I ended up messing up my second panel, so I'll save that for a future card. So definitely be on the lookout for a bonus project from this technique. Once my stencil is dry, the Deco Foil Transfer Gel Blanco is going to remain bright white, but your back of your paper is going to feel dry instead of slightly wet, and it's going to become hard. My son helped me pick 2 colors of foil for today's project. I have the Rainbow Shattered Glass here, and the one that I'm going to end up using on my final project is Iridescent. So you just want to cut a piece of foil to be slightly larger than your stenciled background. Place that over so the back side of your foil is making contact with your gel medium. So you want to put your foil pretty side up and run that through your laminator. I'm just going to do this twice, like I said, with the Rainbow Shattered Glass, and then again with the Iridescent. This is the one I'm actually going to be using. As I put my Rainbow Shattered Glass background through my laminator, my parchment paper bunched up, and I saw that it was bunching, but it was too late to stop it. So you can see there that I didn't get a good foil. It's an imperfect transfer, but that's okay. Like I said, I will end up using this in a future project, and I will stick with this iridescent background today because look at the perfection of this foil. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a silver-based foil with this holographic iridescent shine to it. Really pretty. This rainbow one is pretty too. I'm just a perfectionist, and it was a little bit too messed up, and it was completely my fault. But like I said, I'll use that again later. Now here's another tip for you. Don't throw away your foil. There's a lot you can do with this negative piece. If you have any of these toner sheets, you can transfer this negative stenciled background onto a second piece of paper. So I'm using the toner sheets from ThermoWeb, and I'm going to run that negative foiled piece through my laminating machine, and just like that, we are going to have another background, and this is the negative part of the stencil. Now you can see my parchment paper bunched up a bit again there. I used that same piece, and I shouldn't have. So again, I will think of a different project use for this, but this is just another idea of how you can get a lot of use out of one stenciled background. So I really wanted my Latte Love stenciled background to be the focal point of my card. I really wanted that to shine, pun intended. So I don't want to cover up too much of this background. So I'm going to pick a couple of my favorite Miss Ink Stamps stamp sets. I'm going to stamp the images from the Alice stamp set. I'm just using some Copic Safe ink, and then I'm going to color this in. My coloring is something I have been working on lately. If you follow me at all, you know that I keep my coloring very simple. And the main reason for that is that I'm just not good at coloring. It's not something that, surprisingly, as a card maker, I haven't put that much effort into. I haven't taken any coloring classes really. So I had the opportunity a couple weekends ago to take a coloring class with some crafters in the industry. And so I kind of learned a little bit about my coloring. And I have been working on stepping up my coloring game. So usually I just used 2 markers for a color blend, and it got the job done. It was definitely pretty. It worked. But I have found that I am loving using 4, maybe even sometimes 5 markers for one color blend. You can't beat the depth and dimension. So for my red, I have R39, R29, R27, R35, and then I think I even brought in a little bit of R05 to finish it off. So I used 4 or 5 reds on here just to kind of fill in this red coat for the little bunny here. And then I just colored in the rest of the images in the same manner. Now here's another little trick that I learned, was using some white highlights. I may have gone overboard on these images, but I'm okay with it. I'm loving the white highlights right now. So I'm taking a Jelly Roll pen. It's a size 10. It's the size that I've always kept in my craft room because it's what's worked best for me. And during my coloring class, I kind of figured out why. It's because that ballpoint, the size 10, is a little bit bigger, so it allows the ink to flow, which completely makes sense. So this is the Jelly Roll pen that I recommend, the size 10. I'm just adding some highlight marks by doing a line and a dot, and then some additional dots here and there all over my images. And then I will cut them out with my scissors. I also stamped a sentiment from the Wonderland Wisdom stamp set. This is one of my favorite stamp sets to go along with this whole Alice collection from Miss Ink Stamps. I'm just going to arrange my images onto the front of my Latte Love stenciled and foiled background. And then once I figure out the perfect placement, I'm going to have the sentiment kind of going through the middle there, and then I will position my bunny and my Alice right over the top so that it looks like they're standing on that sentiment strip. I'm going to pop them all up with foam for some dimension, and that's going to finish off this card. So I hope that this stencil project has given you lots of ideas. There are 7 new stencils from Miss Ink Stamps available in the shop now, and hopefully all the techniques that I showed you today will inspire you to grab your stencils and your foiling mediums and really make those backgrounds shine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again really soon. Bye!